Welcome to another edition of Red Meat, the forced March edition after the second presidential debate between Barack Obama and John McCain. It just finished about 20 minutes ago. Mark Hemingway and I, Jim Geraghty, have survived watching 90 minutes of our lives that we will never get back again, and Tom Brokaw did everything he could to chase voters away. But anyway, Mark, your take on what people were saying was a really important debate for John McCain.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I believe the expression is watching paint dry. There's no wet paint in the NR office, but I'm pretty sure that the already dry paint is a little drier now after that debate. And I think that's bad things for McCain. I mean, look, I understand that McCain didn't want to, come off, as the potential bully like he did in the last debate. But the fact of the matter is given the time in the campaign, and we have less than a month to go, where McCain is in the polls, where things stand, he had to get in there and mix it up. I mean, and especially since, Obama is not a strong debater. He's a guy that gets flustered. He's a guy that gets knocked back on his heels easily. He doesn't have a good temperament in those situations. And McCain, whatever you want to say about the last debate, he at least been on the attack the entire time. This time, I mean, McCain needs to, making Obama to commit some unforced errors, and he's not doing it. He's not putting pressure there.
He brought up a few of the points I'd wanted to see him get to. Among them, Fannie and Freddie Mae, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. A bit about Obama's contributions, a bit of the way about the Democrats opposed reform. I think maybe his best line of the night was saying that was the match that started this forest fire, talking about the economic problems we're facing. But I think, having watched two debates and seen a lot of John McCain town hall meetings, et cetera, it feels like his campaign is coming down to like 5 points. I don't think it's the sharpest ones. I'm bipartisan, pork stinks, and darn that bear DNA that he brings up seemingly every time. General Petraeus rocks. Nuclear power works, and I know about it because of aircraft carriers. And Obama was wrong about the surge. And those are fine 5 points, but you need a broader way to make your points and to make your arguments. And it feels like he just kind of reverts back to this. Am I being unfair here?
No, I think you're absolutely correct. I mean, Ramesh observed a long time ago in National Review Online that McCain can't carry an economic message beyond spending. And that's true of the economics, and it's true of any number of issues. McCain needs to have enough of a mastery of command here, and I don't doubt that somewhere lurking underneath that lovable but crusty exterior, that he does from his time in the Senate have the mastery of policy that he needs to do, that he needs to come after this stuff. But I mean, time after time tonight you see where Obama's opening the door and McCain is not walking through. It's great he calls Obama on Fannie and Freddie, but the fact of the matter is he doesn't mention, say that, oh, Jim Johnson, former Fannie Mae chief executive officer, who's who literally lit the match for a lot of this, is still on his campaign. He doesn't mention these things. He lets Obama get up there and talk about the how McCain is going to cut taxes for CEOs. Well, it's a stupid argument to make because when you cut marginal tax rates, you cut them for everybody. Obama might as well say that he's cutting tax rates for pedophiles. I mean, it's all the same.
Mark, don't give him that idea. Now, one of the more surprising developments of tonight, if you knew nothing else about Barack Obama heading into this evening, you might think that Barack Obama was the Republican, and you might even think that he was a Reaganite, because there were like 4 or 5 points that I was just kind of like, where is this coming from? He was very adamant we cannot allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon, which, strange adamants, but he's for drilling at one point, news to me. He kept saying here's the thing, which was the biggest whopper of this entire campaign. Barack Obama is going to propose more spending cuts than spending increases.
He's going to go through the budget line by line.
Yeah, apparently we've reinstated the line item veto when none of us were looking. But that was an enormous one. No veto power to anyone else over use of military force. And he's never going to take the option of military force off the table. Now, based on all that, you'd think the man was a hawk. You'd think this man was chomping at the bit to kick the tail of America's enemies, and nothing in his record indicates that.
Absolutely nothing in his record indicates this. But why not? Who's going to call him on it? I mean, he's done this time and time, throughout the debates. I mean, look at what he was running on in the Democratic primaries. Well, slowly but surely, ever since then, he's endorsed every major component of the Bush foreign policy, and no one seems to care. That the people are literally in the mainstream media and elsewhere are saying, "Oh, well, he's saying these things, but he doesn't mean it, so we're just going to give him a pass on it." He's going to say these things to appeal to independents, and then that's fine with us. We know at heart that he is, a liberal.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where I think on all of these different items, I keep saying to myself, if these are so important to him, they're such priorities, why didn't he do this in the Senate? On the item of the of tax cuts, McCain made a great point about how Barack Obama campaigned on a middle-class tax cut when he was running for the Senate, never introduced it. That should be a big glaring point. It should be a big flashing warning sign to a lot of voters.
But it's like it's similar to what you were saying, about Obama somehow amazingly running as a fiscal conservative. I mean, he hammers McCain for, voting for Bush budgets, which, don't get me wrong, are full of prolific spending, and I criticizing him on that point is a very legitimate point. Did you really think Barack Obama and congressional Democrats opposed Bush budgets because they were spending too much money? I mean, it was just a question of where that money was going, not because Bush was, was too stingy with the dollars he was throwing around.
Not that they've suddenly turned into tightwads. Kind of one last point I want to get to, and it says something about my reaction to the last debate. We were watching one of Frank Luntz's striking focus groups, Mensa candidates all in that crowd. But one of the comments of the last time was a woman saying that Obama was the winner, and her assessment came because he didn't stutter. Now, if you've ever seen Barack Obama speak, generally he's pretty darn good at it. I didn't realize that he had a stuttering problem and that was where the bar was, that as long as he didn't stutter, he won the debate. I realize I'm never going to be the target audience for Barack Obama, but in the minds of the American people, to the extent that there are persuadables out there, where's the bar?
Well, I think that the fear all along here was that this election would be just like 1980 again, where throughout the race people would be, portraying Reagan as this radical, this guy that was this crazy right-winger. And over time, given that everything structurally was going against the incumbent president, people would get more comfortable with this quote-unquote radical just because they had seen enough of him. Well, I'm not at all comparing Obama to Reagan in any sort of meaningful policy sense, but in terms of the historical analogy there, I think this is exactly what we're seeing happening. People are very, very uncertain about what's going on. They don't like what's going on. If there's any possible way they can connect McCain to Bush and through the Republican Party and whatever else, they are going to want to look for reasons to vote for Obama rather than look for reasons to vote for McCain, and that's exactly what's going on. And the bar has been set that low. Okay. I mean, I think if that's where the bar is, good luck to Obama because you're inheriting a horrible economy and a major foreign policy predicament, and a year from now, I think he might be setting himself up for some buyer's remorse.
Well, let's say after that absolute root canal of a debate we just endured, I think the rallying cry for many conservatives right now really is, where is the bar? That's where we're headed right now. I hope you're glad you joined us for this edition of Red Meat. Hopefully another one coming later this week, and one more before that final debate, maybe a few more between now and Election Day. Thanks for joining us. See you around.
Thank you.